read the top part over here because it's pretty much self-explanatory, but maybe not. Let's see how it goes. So he says, Kavonas Kaddish Hasheni, and let me say once again, we're on page Taf Reish Kaf Vav. So Kavonas Kaddish Hasheni Shebein Yishtabach the Yotzer. Okay, so that's where we're at. Hinegam Kul Dugmas Kaddish Rishon Sheberasiya B'Shnei Mini HaKoach, that you're going to be using the 28 letters, or the 28 letters, 28 words, in order to elevate it. Echad al Shisha Heichaloso, he said one will go to elevate the Shisha Heichalos and congeal them. Echad al Heichal Shvi, and then another one you use to bring them up to the bring the seventh Heichal, the top Heichal. Aval ha'esrim v'shmona osios, but the 28 letters, Hey Mishem Sag Shebebriya. So when we look at the well, I do want to look at number Zion. I want to get a little more familiar with what he's saying here. So he says, "V'echad el heichal hashvi, v'koch echad shel Teves shebeteves yehei shmei." That's what we just learned about. Ad amiran ba'alma, going through there. Those are the 28 letters, 28 words. Hu kadei la'alos as heichal hashvi shel olam yitzira the olam abrias. Light print again. Avavach b'yesh no shino bebechinas hakoach the Hakadish Hasheni. I'm just calling it koach. Koach osios sheyesh beYehei Shmei Rabba. Those mukuvana keneged the koach shel milui hamilui the Havaya the Zag. I'm not sure what he's trying to tell me. He says that the same thing, or that we that in Panimi to that is the Havaya the Zag. So he says that, which is the Moach. He says it can know the milui the via the sag sheba olam abriya. So therefore, in olam abriya is shining into olam yitzira. Then he goes on and he says v'akoach teves sheyesh miyehei shmei rabach ad amiran ba'alma hein bekuvana keneged koach shel milui the via the av sheba olam hatzilus. So we see he's using av and. Let's see, he says, let me see if I got this right. The via the av, just saying a fact. So I'll read the black print too. So now that we brought the seventh, we brought that all up into Yisira Labriya. He says, Oz ha'heichel ha'shvi the yitzira v'hi yosa ba'olam ha'briya, since the fact that it's in olam ha'briya now. Hu na'asa olam ha'briya mamash, it actually becomes a part of it. Now we had some ideas before. I don't know what this is like, goes on to the idea we've had before of the chitzonius and the panemius. I'm not sure. So let's go. See, so since it goes up and it closes itself on the malchus the olam abriya, v'lechein hu na'asim mamash chelik olam abriya v'chein laharos sheheichel hashvihi na'asim bechida abriya mamash. We say acher Kaddish anu omrim baruch hu. So we say the Kaddish. And Baruch Hu, he said, Lefichoch la'achar HaKadosh etzecha be'ana oimrim Baruch Hu. Came to Baruch Hu, hu ba'olam abriya. Now that's interesting because I'm in a minyan now in the morning with a lot of time I'm the only Kohen. So sometimes there's no Levi. So then I'm saying Baruch Hu twice. So if does that mean that at that time of Kriyas, I mean, what does it have to do with olam abriya? That's what I want to know. So he says, "Shebaruch hu b'olam habriya." That's one thing about Baruch Hu. So that tells you that that's what the Baruch Hu does for you. Baruch Hu miyad la'achar HaKadosh Hasheni, hu al derek shabir rab la'erech hatam shemiyad achar HaKadosh. Kaddish Rishon Omrim as a Pesukim shall Hodu l'Hashem. It's the same idea. Baruch Hu is in the place of Hodu. This is the place where the top actually becomes a part. Well, the top of the lower becomes a part of the upper. Gvarn is Bar La'el Hamizmorim hein b'yitzira, that the Mizmorim really are the Mizmorim. That's the Pesuka de Zimra are in Yitzira. Sheba Amiras Mizmorim Misaknim as Olam Hatzira. We know that. So v'kedei laharos ki de hahechel hashvi da asiya nehefach the bechidas Yitzira. Ayidech v'liyasach v'aliyasach b'olam Yitzira b'chamiras HaKaddish Rishon shalifnei Amiras Hodu. So that's moving your way. The fichoch miyad achrech HaKaddish oimrim as mizmor Yitzira shehem besukum shel Hodu, which goes along with that, and then you bring it all in. V'chein al zu haderek ana osim kan ba'olam habriya be'esim b'riz baruch hu miyad achra Kaddish. So we say this immediately after Kaddish, and that helps. That brings it up. So he called bechinas baruch hu mibriya. So every time you say baruch, he says it's mibriya. Now this, like I say, I brought that up. We say baruch all the time. So exactly what does that mean? Well, called bechinas baruch, he shayeches the olam habriya. So it's something has to do perhaps with Ima. Yeah, the Ima is Olam Habriya. Maybe it has something like that. I'm not sure. He says ki Sham hu nikra Baruch, because there at Baruch, that's where you see that's the place where you see the blessing, or it's called a blessing. Because meaning Ribuya, the Berkon Kanoida, with all different kinds of blessings. Let's see what it says. Shahare Olam Habriya nikra Baruch. Al Shem Shuhum is Baruch Bekol meaning Ribu de Berkon, because it's a multitude of blessings. So what? So it says Baruch Al Shem Shuhu. It says it represents Bria. I don't see the connection 100%, but let's go on. So in order to show that this Heichel, which is called kosher, that is the very top of Yetzirah, Na'asa Ata Bria, the Fichoch. Miyad achar Kaddish Hasheni. So immediately after the second Kaddish, Omrim Baruch Hu Kodem Birchas Yotzer. Or so I'm not sure if he didn't just repeat that. Let's go back on. Let's go back. The Ramosky Heichel Hashvi the Yitzira. Who wants to tell you that you're going to get up to the top of Yitzira, Chazer the Yos Beria Mamesh, etc. Masha Ana Oimrim as Baruch Hu La'achar Amiras HaKaddish Hasheni Hu L'Moshe HaHeichel Kodesh Kadosh the Yitzira Na'az Anta Bria Mamash V'Lechein Oimrim Baruch Hu Kemen Shebaruch Hu Ba'olam HaBria. So he says again, and we're left with that. I just say that maybe that's an answer, that it represents Ima being Mashpia. So between those two now, that we're moving up to the top, between Goal and now you get to Amida, he says, Afal Pi Shehem Shnei Olamos Brian Vitzirus, Hagam Shehu Beki Bechel Shnei Olamos Brian Vitzirus, Eki Babaruchu, Eki Birchas Goal Yisawel, when you say that word, he bebria is in bria ve'edach tefilas amida he olamatzila. So he's v'lochol v'tikun loma b'hem Kaddish. So even though that's happening, we don't do this. We don't say Kaddish. Im kol zecha b'chadezecha b'dotin rabbesein b'zecha lomer Kaddish bein gol yisach le'techilas tefilas amida. B'kedei lachaver v'la'alkos es olam bria, in order to be able to put them together, to ever elevate them. Al olam atzila kafisha oim brecha bekadir bein asiyah the yitzira bein yitzira the bria. Let's go on. Machmas hasiva shekosav arav the el, because there's a reason why he said it earlier. He says sheyesh shinui bein olam atzilus the shnei olamos, between the other two. V'husha b'shar olamos raka chelach asiri shal hamalchus. It's only the aspect that it has within itself is only the 10th part of the Malchus. It's just a small part of the Malchus. Shalom Malchus Yored El HaOlam Shalamad B'ben. Masha Ein came Ba'olam Atzil. It's a little Kaddish, I think. Shekol Eser Sphira Shechat Malchus Yordim Ba'olam Abriya. All of them go down. That's in that place. Va'yedera became Miskasher Olam Abriya Im Olam Atzilus. Lefichov Ein Sarach Lomer Kaddish, because there's so much down there to begin with the Kasher Bein Olam Abriya LaOlam Atzilus. Now we're coming to a new place, so let's just read along on the bottom as we're going along here and see what we could do. He says, a Kaddish Shlishi Shalach Amida, Kodim Ashra Yoshve Besecha. Now you're on the third one. And the third one is after you say Ashra Yoshve Besecha, or it's before, Kodim Ashra. So that's the third one. V'hantam b'var Rav Hakavnot shel Kaddish Shlishich in the Eben Ara Mida. The height of the Ara Mida is Nefilas Apayim. So he wants to say that you're still in the Tzilus when you're doing a Nefilas Apayim. And over there's a very interesting Tivakavanos over there that explains to you what's going on. It's very deep. It's really one of the ones that we should be looking at. He says, La'achar Amir the Nefilas Apayim. After that, Kodem Ashrei Yoshe Besechon, between the two. Hakavnot shall Amidas Hakadosh Shlishi Hazerhi. He says what? She'ad Tefilas Amida Alina Rebecca Shlosha Olamos Shehem Bia. We brought them all up. Lamala Lamakom Atzilos. He said Kaddish Shekal Olamos Yakuchlu Olam Atzilos. Vayidech She'al Olamos Abibich Olam Atzilos or Azai Bezos Kol Olamos Nechlala Beyacha Olam Atzilos. So that everything is there now. Let me get this right down. Here we go. All the war, so it's to bring everything into Atzilus. Aliyah's called the Olamos Bia, the Olam Atzilus, B'Tefilas Amida. Hainu Kedei Lizaveg as Zun the Atzilus on the Akron Teferes and Malchus. Let's say Zun the Atzilus. Okay, so in other words, this is Zun of Atzilus. V'Zivugam Ku B'Birchos Sim Shalom. They actually make a yichud. They come down. That is we have Yehei Shmei Rabbah over there, which is really a picture of the yichud from the top to the bottom. So what we have hugging and different kinds of kissing and hugging, and then actually yichud. Umasha kasav v'rachal devadam, and what it says they're by themselves. What does he mean by that? Kavanaso ki shebekriya shema na'az zivug shel abba ve'ima. That's what happens there. V'hata b'tefilas amida hu zivug zun levad v'lo zivug abba ve'ima. What you have over there in the rest of Bia, Rak Zivug Zunda Ratzilus Levad. So this is only one yichud takes place there. Not sure I got that 100%. So he says, I'd like to read it again. I still don't really understand it 100%. We have plenty of time. He says, La'asos Sham Zivug Elyon the Teferes and Malchul Levad. So once again, he says, Aliyah's kol olamos bia lo olam atzilus b'tefilas amida behind the kedei the zaveg as zon the tzilus and the acquiring teferes and malchus. B'zivugam ku mebirchas sim shalom. That's where it takes place. Masha kasav Rav levadam. Where did he say levadam? He does. That's the last one. Mak levadam. They do it by themselves, just them. What does that mean? Okay, I got that. Just zun. In other words, there's no yichud of Abba ve'ima. Lo zivug Abba ve'ima. He says it. Gam lo na'asa ke'es hazivugim. That other zivugim that would take place in Bia. Rag zivug zun de Ratzilus levad. Now maybe the lower one, the Bia, is because Bia is now going to be in Atzilus. So maybe that's the answer to that, no? V'shar kol ha'olamos, v'shar ha'olamos shehem bia sha'alocha b'olam atzilos. He says, heim na'asim lechem kedimyon kanfayim. They become like to what? To what's going on, all of these other worlds. It's again, heim na'asim lechem kedimyon, like wings, ha'chofafim makasim aleichem, that this is interesting, that cover them over, that chofafim means like flapping, I think that's what it means. I mean, lechofi means to surround them, I guess. And then cover over them. Besod again hasahar. Now I don't really know what that is. Hanizka b'mayim b'chazoar b'ksav yad hanikbus sisrei osios, which is called secret of letters. Shal Hashem Yisbarach v'ayin sham. You got to go over there to see that. Let's see if we have any help here. I don't know that phrase again, which is like again, I think. Hasahar, what the surrounding part. So that's a concept of, what he said about the let's look at this. The ikar of everything is in Itzilus. And everything else around it, the Bia, maybe he says it becomes like wings, or he means like coverings, different kinds of coverings for it. He's using the word wings, an interesting use of that word. So he says that it's actually a surrounding protection. Azai, then, be'ez, let me see if I'm getting the right place. Azai be'ez haziga, then, at the time of the Yikut takes place, the Olam Batzilos, heim na'asim lachem kamo kanfayim v'chopafos, al hazun da'atzilus. So this is a big idea. This is a mushroom. This is a sneasdika idea. Is that now we have this in? We know that in the Rishash Siddur, something to look at it sometime. Is this idea over of Ana B'Koach, which I really don't understand. There's some phrases over there where it says with the first two, it covers it, and I don't remember it exactly. I never really understood it. Here's a place over here that we're talking about a yichud. And the yichud is that bia becomes an aspect of the tznius, of the yichud that takes place in the tzilus. And after the zivug is over, let me see if I skipped a page. Let me see. Yeah. On the tzrich and lachsor, we have to come back. 1 second. So on the so he says almost we have to come back and bring them back up again. Now he said in Sim Shalom, and we know there's another yichud that takes place in Tachnun as well. In the Seals of Payim, that one I haven't really got placed. I learned some of it, but not all of it. He said, "Be'ez hazivug dezun." Azai olamos biak of a yochim is rachkim mizun deratzilus. He says then they become distance from the zun of Atzilus. Kevin she'ein zecha b'derek eretz l'amod sham be'ez hazivug, because they should not be looking at that. That's what he means. So therefore they cover them like wings. Now the zivug is over, the zun. That took place over there. So it sounds like they flow out of Atzilus back into Bia again. What we want to do is be Makasha them back into Atzilus. So that's what I think he said. And how does this work? Because now there's a flow coming down towards us. And so be able to tie ourselves to that. The place that we're there previously. Because now there's a big flow. There's a big flow of bracha that's coming down. They won't be able to still get it, even though they're not. They got to get back in the train, in the stream. I guess it's the stream. Shalom. So therefore, we come right away, and we're going to make another Kaddish. So we're going to Kaddish Shlishi, which he point out by right before Ashrei. So he said, and that's the reason why. Is to go back and drink again from that place. Because once the zivug takes place, we said, let me just go over that. Because what happened is that Bria, and certainly Yitzira and Asiya, they are pushed away. Right there, they're pushed away. I guess they have to turn their backs, so to speak. And when you turn your back, it's like you're turning your back to leave. Your back is to it. And he said now, after the yichud does take place, their back is to it, so to speak. And now they're going to have to. They're going to pour out. They're going to pour out with the shefa, and they're still facing the wrong direction. So he says, "The kaber of the shefa zivug she is kasha of bria latzila." So in order to bring bria back, so that now it can drink from that, so to speak. Azai olam bria yuchol the kaber of olam atzilus as the shefa of zivug shal zun. The lechein kavana zera kaddish. So therefore, the kavana that you have over in this kaddish. V'kadei l'kalo as a bria im olam atzilus, and to bring them all in together. Yesh the kavet b'kaddish shlishi. That's why we have kaddish shlishi. Right before Ashrei, we're going to go out and we're going to pull ourselves back up and drink from that fountain. The kalo as olam atzilus im olam bria. V'al yedera b'shem av. Now, how does this happen? And this is something that He says this happens by the name of Shem Av, which is a via the Yudin v'yesh the Kav b'Kaddish Hashlishi. He says v'Shem Havaya the Milui Yudin Shuhu b'Gematria Av. Now this is where you see in the Rishash where he says sometimes it's Av and Sag and things like that. So Abar v'Shnayim Osi Yosef. So you do this because there are 42 letters in there. Of the Av yesh mab osius. So once again, we have the pasha, the mali, and the mali, the mali. He says osius, the pasha, the mali, the mali, the mali. But over the lohalana, we're going to say now. We know this already, but we'll go through it real quick. Reading the light print, he says bebo arba osius kazeh. That's a havai yud kei vavke, and then the milui is yud kei vavke spelled out, and then the milui is going to be these 28 letters down here. V'rav pashat shuhu arba osius k'shitetzarfano as im hamale. So you join it together with the male shuhu eser osius v'im hamale the male shuhu koach osius harehem mab osius. So I thought I was going to say something slightly different, but at any rate, you're putting this 42 together. Maybe it is like I thought. Maybe it is that this is the process by which you're actually able to cause Olam Abriya to once again get shefa from that. That happens. As Olam Abriya mekabel tosefet kedusha na'asim ezevigzun deratzilus. So then, okay, that's that. Begedushas uvos vav letzion v'zeh hashefa nishba el abriya. So now the shefa is pouring down, and we say, how is it pouring down? Be'ez emiris kedusha u'balatzion. So we say kedusha. I guess he means the kedusha in u'balatzion. He says because Hakavnot shall emiris hakadish ba'aravi shu hakadish achrei emiris u'balatzion. So it's after u'balatzion. So after that, he said hu begedei lekalo as olam yitzira in olam abriya. So bria, so to speak, is drinking from Atzilus. And now we're going to get the next part is going to go into Olam Yetzira from Bria. So we look for the 42 that come with the name Sag, which exists, of course, and the Mab Da'av. So this is going to be Sag and Av. So it is the Mab Da'av, but here, I have this one question. He says, Mabi, previously he said, it moves everything up. That's what it does. It has only one, he even said something like it only has one thing that it does, and that's what moves things up. But now you're what are you moving up? So what you're moving, I guess you would say like this, what you're moving up is you're moving up Yetzirah into Bria. So maybe that's how the Mav works. Maybe that's the answer to my question. So let's read up at the top again. Is mab the sag mab the av. You use these two mabs. Beofen she'al yedech hakavon is mab the av. Mamshichin mochin the abba. We bring the mochin the abba kedei l'kalav l'alos alagar shal olam yitzira in order to bring up and to his words to bring up the gar the gimel rishonim shal olam yitzira. We bring Mochin the Ima. What do they do? In order to bring the Zata. So first you have one, the Av one, the Av, and I've got this right. He says, this I'm going pretty fast. The Mab the Av, the Mab the Av and the Mab the Sag, they bring up the bottom parts. They join the bottom parts together. But it is in a chain. So it has to go through one to the next. Apparently. So now we're on Nun base. Is Avachat Yitzira Tefillah. Now, Ashkenaz don't say this, but it is in the Sfardi. He said so he said Tefillah the David, but Amir is Tefillah the David. I don't think that it's in the Ashkenaz Siddur. Maybe it is, but I don't know. So Amir is so now you come and you're saying the Yom. Omrim Kaddish Hamisha, there's a fifth Kaddish. What does that do for you? That is Kodem, the Kaveh El Hashem. He's like a I think we must have run out of time. We ran out of time. It's just really so exciting here, learning what's going on in the Kaddish. This is Baruch Fleischman, Tikkun Elevator Kola.